You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
I know some of you guys were wondering. I even wondered myself about a shot from space about this about this particular hurricane. So I want to share this with y'all as well, so we can see this too. This is only 30 seconds long, but you can see from space. Look how bad, how big, how massive, how this is no joke. Okay, this is no joke. Music, but look at that. That is not a happy camper. All right. Melissa means business. Wow, that's so crazy that's what's being seen. I'm playing that again. Imagine that, y'all. Yeah, Ashes. That's a beast indeed. Somebody owes this woman money. Damn. Move the speed up just a little bit so we can see what's going on. But man, this is crazy stuff. Okay. More info.
25, and we are watching Monster Hurricane Melissa out here just south of Jamaica. It's officially a Category 5, okay? The latest reading is 912 millibars at the center. That's a very...
Mind you, this just dropped an hour ago, okay? The one that we just saw with max velocity, he did one, and that was 4 hours old. So this one is the most recent, more up-to-date, about an hour old, just so you guys know, okay? And so shout out to Max Velocity, of course, and of course, shout out to Ryan Hall, y'all, okay, for their content and for giving us this information. It's nice to hear other people talk about it. So yeah, just so you guys know.
Very low pressure center with winds around 161 miles per hour, and it is still strengthening. The pressure is getting lower every time the hurricane hunters go through that center. They're coming back with a 5 to 10 millibar lower reading. I don't know when that's going to stop, but you can see right now that the latest satellite imagery shows this thing actually wobbling west. It's already supposed to have started on that northerly turn. Whenever that happens, it's going to start moving pretty quick. But right now, it's literally moving at like 1 to 2 miles per hour, and it's going west. And the farther west it goes, the more time it's going to have over water, and the more likely it is that it's just going to keep getting stronger. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 170 mile per hour winds with this thing as it got closer to Jamaica, with 200 mile per hour wind gusts around the eye wall. This is one of the most intense storms we've had in the Caribbean for a long time, and we've really never seen anything like this in recent times in Jamaica. Okay, so this does look like it's going to be a very devastating storm for our friends in Jamaica as it goes up towards the island. We do expect that the storm is going to continue to be a Category 5 storm on October 28th at 2 a.m. Okay, so tonight around midnight, a little bit after that, it's going to be getting closer to the island, and then it'll probably be early in the morning when it actually makes landfall, somewhere between Alligator Pond and up there towards Savannah, Lamar. Okay, the Kingston side of the island looks to fare a little bit better as far as the winds go, but the problem here is that Kingston, and really the whole island, is going to have a big problem with rainfall. Up to 40 inches of rain could fall as a result of this system, which will lead to catastrophic flooding. And that's besides the 10 to 13 foot storm surge that's going to come along with this. It is going to be an absolute nightmare of a situation in Jamaica over the next 48 hours or so. This is the third Category 5 storm of 2025, and in 2005, which is a year we all remember as being like the hurricane year, there were 4. All right, so we're right up there with 2005, and it may not feel like that because we've went all year without really having to worry about these monster storms making impact with land. But of course, unfortunately, we're not going to get out of 2025 without a devastating, life-altering storm making impact with land. It's going to hit Jamaica head on over here, and there will be impacts that will be felt for a very long time in the future. We're talking about utility outages for who knows how long. We're talking about a reshaping of the geography of the island down here to an extent. So it's going to be a really bad storm. And once again, I'm expecting that landfall to be sometime early tomorrow morning in Jamaica, and then it'll be on the other side of Jamaica by 2 p.m. Okay, so once this thing starts its turn, it's going to start moving faster. So we're all just...
You heard that, right? He says he believes it'll hit landfall early tomorrow morning. Okay, so that could be God knows however long, right? Or whatever time. When they say tomorrow morning, that could literally be 12:05 in the morning, 12:05 a.m. Tuesday morning. It could literally be that. But no matter what, he says in the morning, it'll hit landfall. And then by the afternoon, it'll get past, it'll leave Jamaica. So this is not a situation where they go up, they hit Jamaica, say 30 minutes later, they're gone. This hurricane's past Jamaica and it heads towards Cuba. No, not at all. This thing is going to be on, like I said to you before, if it keeps going in this speed, 3 miles an hour, it's going to sit there. It's going to sit on that island, on that country for a little while. He said in the morning it's going to be there, and by the afternoon it'll be gone. That's several hours of devastation. That's several hours of mayhem, absolute destruction. You see what I'm saying? Hold up. Let me let him say that one more time. I need you guys to hear this, because what I thought, I might be right. And that's crazy and scary.
Expecting that landfall to be sometime early tomorrow morning in Jamaica, and then it'll be on the other side of Jamaica by 2 p.m. Okay, so once this thing starts its turn, it's going to start moving faster. So we're all just kind of waiting for that turn to happen. Right now, it's still moving almost directly west. It's just floating around out there, barely moving. But once it gets past Jamaica, it's going to start rocketing. It'll be a Category 3 major hurricane making landfall near Guantanamo in eastern Cuba by October 29th at 2 a.m. And then we've got to be concerned about the Bahamas up here by 2 p.m. on the 20th.
Hold on. I need to roll back just a little bit, because I want to see what he has for the time that it actually gets to Jamaica. Because he said 2 p.m., they're guesstimating that it'll be past Jamaica by 2 p.m. What time does he say it's going to hit, or what they're projecting? Hold on.
Island down here to an extent, so it's going to be a really bad storm. And once again, I'm expecting that landfall to be sometime early tomorrow morning in Jamaica, and
early tomorrow morning. That's all he says. Okay. Like this is going to be bad. He even said that this could change the what did he say? I'm just going to let him say. He said it right.
Impacts that will be felt for a very long time in the future. We're talking about utility outages for who knows how long. We're talking about a reshaping of the geography of the island down here.
The reshaping of the geography of the island. Okay? That's a very big deal. Potentially reshaping the geography of Jamaica. Do you understand? Man, this is crazy.
Here to an extent, so it's going to be a really bad storm. And once again, I'm expecting that landfall to be sometime early tomorrow morning in Jamaica, and then it'll be on the other side of Jamaica by 2 p.m. Okay, so once this thing starts its turn, it's going to start moving faster. So we're all just kind of waiting for that turn to happen. Right now, it's still moving almost directly west. It's just floating around out there, barely moving. But once it gets past Jamaica, it's going to start rocketing. It'll be a Category 3 major hurricane making landfall near Guantanamo in eastern Cuba by October 29th at 2 a.m. And then we've got to be concerned about the Bahamas up here by 2 p.m. on the 29th. Okay, so you can see how it's moving a lot quicker the farther north it goes. It's even going to continue to be a hurricane, potentially a Category 1 hurricane, all the way up here by Bermuda. So here's another look at the path without the satellite. Still Category 5 by 2 a.m. tonight. It'll be a Category 4 on the other side of Jamaica, Category 3 in Cuba, Category 2 as it gets close to Crooked Island over here in the Bahamas, and then Category 1 up here in Bermuda. Once again, I don't think that anybody in the United States has a lot to worry about with this, except for maybe in southeastern Florida and in the Outer Banks of the Carolinas, places like that. We're probably going to have another problem with some coastal flooding and some rip currents and stuff, because this is going to be a powerful storm sending major swells hundreds of miles to the west. And once again, in Jamaica, a storm surge of 9 to 13 feet above normal tide levels is going to cause major problems on the southern side of the island. We've got 20 to 40 inches of rain that's going to be falling, and then right at landfall, winds of 140, 150, 160 miles per hour are going to be possible, with gusts closer to 200. There's not a lot else that I can add to that, okay? This is going to be the worst storm that we've seen down there in our lifetimes, more than likely, and hopefully people are already as safe as they can be. But if people haven't gotten the message yet, this is going to be a storm that you can't ride out along the coast, and you've got to get to higher ground, and you've got to figure out a way to get to a safe spot. One of the unique things about Jamaica here is there's some pretty high terrain. The winds in the high terrains might actually be stronger than along the coast at landfall. Okay, so that's going to lead to big problems up there in some of the higher elevation areas. And then if you're in the valleys, if you're trying to protect yourself in the valleys on this island, that's where we're going to see some of the most catastrophic flooding. We've seen what can happen when you dump 20 to 30 inches of rain in a valley.
Hold on, I'm pausing this because it says 8 p.m. If this is correct, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 7 p.m. tonight, basically, is when it starts getting very close to the island. Hold on.
Valley in North Carolina.
Then 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when it looks like that's where it literally is on the land. So 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when Hurricane Melissa is allegedly going to make landfall. It's going to touch ground in Jamaica. This is what they're saying. I'm writing this down so I don't forget this too. Hold on, guys. Writing this down. 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
A similar stuff is going to happen in Jamaica with this amount of rainfall. And we're about to dive so much deeper into that. But first, let's shout out today's awesome sponsor.
Okay,
ZipRecruiter, rated #1 sort through recruiter. Get a quality. So click. We're in action phase in Jamaica. Everybody there needs to be taking action to protect their life and property now. Same thing in Eastern Cuba. But I really hope that everybody in the Bahamas is also starting to take action. In Mayaguana, Crooked Island especially, and then Long Island, all three of these islands are going to take some sort of significant impact from the storm in the form of storm surge, heavy rainfall, and strong winds. Even all the way back here towards North Carolina, we need to be preparing for some tropical storm impacts all the way back there. And in southern Florida, once again, we got to be watching out for some rip currents, some high tides, some coastal flooding, and stuff like that. And even though we're pretty far away over here in Bermuda, it is action time in Bermuda. Within 4 days, we're going to have a very strong storm coming by Bermuda, potentially Category 1, Category 2 hurricane making direct contact with the island. Now, let's briefly talk about the weather across the rest of the United States. Nothing as interesting is happening out here in the lower 48. We do have a storm system exiting off the coast that will bring some heavy rain into the Appalachians and over into the Piedmont area of the Carolinas over the next couple of days. This will lead to some isolated flooding problems. We've also got another system that's diving into the Rockies and the plains tonight into tomorrow that'll bring some much colder weather into the Great Plains and eventually the Midwest and even the Southeast. This is that storm system that's going to be with us around Halloween. It is going to bring some storms and some rain and just some dreary conditions into the eastern United States as we go into the 29th and 30th, but there's going to be a pretty substantial pocket of cool air behind it that is going to make Halloween and the day before Halloween pretty cold across a lot of the eastern United States. But regardless of how you feel about the cold and the gusty winds and the rain that'll come along with this, we've got to be very thankful for this system because it is this that is swatting Melissa away from the United States. If it wasn't for this system, it's very likely that Florida, maybe the Carolinas, or maybe even the Gulf Coast would have to worry about Melissa, but we don't have to worry about it at all right now, thanks to this baseball bat of a system that's going to swat Melissa out of the way. After that goes through, we are going to have some period of time where things are quiet again across the U.S. Things are going to be colder in the east, warmer in the west. We're going to have lots of warm air advection actually in the southwest as we continue to see a ridge build up over there. And yeah, there's nothing substantial that pops out to me until we get way back into La La Land on the GFS. And at that point, it's kind of pointless to talk about because it will change. So we can.
Interesting. Again, the fact that he's showing like, hey, thank God for all of this weather system that's going on over here. Without that, this hurricane could veer over towards America, and then East Coast could be rocked by this category or by this a very dangerous and very angry hurricane.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.